here in St. Louis, and we will get back to you.
Nobody has any theories on that, obviously, either.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
No, I haven't. Not till you brought it in here today.
I don't know.
An incredible story.
News Center 2's Ron Barber has been in this story. He's back in Elsberry, Missouri tonight, and we've got him on the phone. Ron, what is the mood of the people in Elsberry tonight?
Sherry, there is no doubt the concern here is high, as a nearly full moon has kept total darkness from falling here in Elsberry. Some farmers will be spending a long night. Many of them spent today counting their herds, making certain that none of the cattle had fallen victims to the mutilation that has claimed at least 5 cows since April 24th. One farmer who reported a heifer missing this afternoon later found it had wandered off to calve. Mother and baby are fine tonight. A sizable number of farmers can be heard on their citizens' band radios at this hour, waiting to see if a repeat performance by the UFOs is in the offing this night. If so, it would be the 4th or 5th time since June 8th that objects no one around here has ever seen before have appeared long enough to glow a bright, brilliant glow, a gold color, hover, rise, and descend several times, move to the east, move back to the west, and then vanish. It is a story here that no scriptwriter could duplicate, and this one, Sherry, is for real.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us in News Center 2. The bizarre story out of Elsberry, Missouri concerning mutilated cattle, UFO sightings, and mysterious dead flies has taken another strange twist this evening. Scientists here, at the request of News Center 2, now know what killed the flies. However, they say the cause of death is something they have never seen before outside a laboratory. Thousands of dead flies were found in the area around several mutilated cows in Elsberry. They had apparently fed on the dead cows' carcasses. A short time later, they were found dead by the thousands, sticking to nearby tree limbs, almost welded to them. Our tests at Ralston Purina show that the flies died of a fungus. What has scientists baffled is that they have been able to create this condition in laboratories, but they've never seen it happen naturally. It's still not known if the flies carried the fungus to the cow carcasses or from them. It's still all a mystery.
Farmers in Elsberry are counting their herds, but so far no new cases of cattle mutilations have been reported, nor have there been any further sightings of UFOs, which some people feel may be behind the whole bizarre episode. News Center 2's Ron Barber spent the night in Elsberry and says the mood of the people is cautious.
Quite a few of the townsfolk of Elsberry, Missouri gathered at the Manford Hammond residence last night and looked towards the sky. They gazed and really didn't even know what they were looking for. Whatever it was, they didn't see anything other than a bright full moon, somewhat obscured by light haze. There were even a couple of semi-professional UFO seekers, fully equipped with highly professional camera gear. But there was nothing more than a pleasant late spring night's get-together with the neighbors. Just the night before, however, Manford Hammond, his family, and others say the sights were very prolific and very strange.
And they just hovered over the tree, and then it went right straight down, and then it was down about 15 minutes, and then it come right back up and went to the west and out of sight. And then after a while we saw it back over here in the east again. It come back up and come over and back down in the west and down.
Every morning, many Elsberry and area farmers now are making careful head checks on their cattle, in some cases counting them out one by one, in others keeping their animals very close by.
Well, I've moved them right in front of my house so that it is easier to watch them, and it's awful hard to get a good count on cattle regularly. But I've moved them in front of my house where it's close to the house and close to the road, where I think there won't be as much possibility of something happening.
The authoritative UFO sightings have been about every second or third night since early June. So they'll be out looking again tonight and counting animals again tomorrow morning. Those people here who have an explanation for the events that have taken place are not all that certain of their theories. Every piece of logic or reasoning seems to have holes in it. What is known for absolute certain is that every dead cow is costing these farmers hundreds, perhaps thousands of dollars. Ron Barber, News Center 2, Elsberry, Missouri.
A rural Wentzville farmer has reported what appears to be a cow killing very similar to the recent incidents in Elsberry. News Center 2's Ron Barber reports.
Or radiation detectors from Terry Morgan at the St. Louis County Office of Civil Preparedness. It is not a difficult instrument to use. That accomplished, we headed out to the Cleet Parr Farm in rural Wentzville. Last Saturday, Mr. Parr followed his nose to the source of a rancid smell down a slight embankment. It was there Mr. Parr discovered the carcass of one of his registered cows, apparently dead about 5 or 6 days at that time. There were similarities to the Elsberry incidents Mr. Parr noticed immediately. Although you can't see it here, Mr. Parr told me the right ear appeared to have been neatly sliced off. There were at that time hundreds of dead flies stuck to the fence wire near the carcass. When we got there today, a driving rain had washed many of them off, but some were still visible. And now something else Mr. Parr noted that was highly unusual to him.
The cow apparently died, from the looks of it, with its legs underneath it. Is that odd?
Yes, it is. They usually always turn to their side. But just before they die, even if they're laying upright, before they die, that's the way on what I've seen, they always turn to their side just before they die.
I tried the radiation detector close to the carcass and close to the wire with the flies. I thought I heard more activity near the scene than we detected from afar. I double-checked my feelings with John Morris, a friend who had traveled to Wentzville with our camera crew. He felt there was negligible movement on the meter. Mr. Parr told me there have been no signs of buzzards or large predators near the carcass in the nearly 2 weeks since the animal's death. The cow was only about 8 years of age. Normally, animals of this nature live 14 to 15 years. Mr. Parr summed it up to News Center 2 this way.
Well, it just seems kind of weird, is about all I can say about it. It seems weird.
Ron Barber, News Center 2, Wentzville.
Last night, at least 9 persons saw what they all felt were UFOs in an area west of Elsberry. The objects bobbed, weaved, and maneuvered up and down for a period of 4 hours from 9 p.m. to 1 this morning. We talked to several of the witnesses. Their descriptions did vary considerably, but they all agreed on one point. Never had they seen anything like the objects that they saw last night.
It was just fantastic. I'd never seen anything like it, and I don't know, maybe it is starting to make a believer out of me, because I just, I didn't expect to see anything when I came up, and yet I saw these lights moving, and they would move in lines, move along, and possibly have red or green lights. This was just an orange, brilliant light. At one point I did see, well, this is when our group had grown quite a bit, and we had 9 or 10 people there. I think it was around 12 o'clock a.m., and we saw a brilliant light that flashed for 5 to 10 seconds in white, red, green, orange, and it lasted that long, and then it disappeared just as quick.
Early this afternoon, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department received a report of a dead cow in an area virtually exactly where the reported UFOs were sighted. It appeared odd to this reporter when I saw the dead animal surrounded by a complete circle of dirt in an otherwise grassy pasture. But veterinarian Dr. Newberry, who had investigated earlier alleged mutilations, told me the circle was caused by curious cows milling around the dead cow. He felt the dead animal was struck by lightning. Burn marks underneath the skin appeared to verify that conclusion to the layman. Meantime, at least a dozen members of various UFO groups, mostly from St. Louis, trooped up here today to try to sift through what remains of the carcasses and interview the citizens. T-shirts bearing the emblems Elsberry UFO Country are being sold here by the dozens. Despite the fact the cow today appears to have been struck by lightning, the whole feeling in the community may have been summed up by one farmer I overheard talking to a group of other farmers today. He said, quote, "All these dang cows just ain't dropping over and dying." Ron Barber, News Center 2, Elsberry.